My name's Anthony Ferraro. I'm doing kind of a video diary of my journey and everything that I've had to overcome and experience battling addiction, alcoholism, depression mixed with ADHD. I'm doing this kind of to hear myself say it out loud and have a video so I can go back to it, to reflect and whatnot, and to hold myself accountable, to hear it out loud. I've noticed with me, if I hear myself say it and if I can hear it again, it resonates a lot better with me. So, start out, I'm 38 years old, no children, never been married. Always battled with depression and seemed to always kick up when I was happiest. Tended to be a problem with relationships over the years, and then mixed with alcohol and other things. It just, you watch your life crumble right in front of you. There's nothing you can really do about it until you decide to get better and start fixing yourself. But for me, I just had to finally get to that point where I couldn't do it anymore. I've been hurting my whole life in my own way, but once I started hurting the people I loved, continuously, people that didn't deserve it, I realized I really needed to make a change. So, completely quit drinking, all the other stuff. Started eating clean, exercising twice a day. I actually started doing 75 hard. I think I'm 9 days into it, and it's been a huge help. Reading just completely altered my lifestyle. Very limited on social media, and just trying to basically rewire my brain to see things in a more positive manner. My brain instantly, whenever something comes up that's inconvenient, I automatically go worst case scenario. And if you get that in your head and you can't get it out and you keep thinking about it, of course you're gonna follow suit. And so I'm learning to not dwell on that, try and reinstill something positive every time I have a thought come up. Something positive, kind of beat it into my brain and make a habit out of it. It's not easy. It's a challenge, but I have noticed with me, if I'm not challenging my brain constantly, if I get comfortable, I get lazy and I start slacking on figuring out how to keep myself at peace, happy, keep from being self-destructive. And like I said, I basically had to rewire my brain. I'd been drinking since I was probably 12 years old. I had a lot of, my life wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best, and I just didn't know how to handle things well. Still don't necessarily, but that's what I'm trying to learn, and take everything one day at a time, not let anything become too detrimental towards me. So a big thing with me was I'd be recently in a recent relationship, just the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Never felt this way before. Never been so happy, never felt so whole. Everything was beautiful. I figured I found the rest of my life, and I've always said that I don't think I was built to be happy. I think I have short little spurts, and then I go back to chaotic life and just depression, anger. Regardless of how long I've been going to counseling, I've been to rehab. I do, like I said, I started doing a couple of the online Zoom, support groups, stuff like that. It just, everything sounds good, but if you don't actually apply it, and put the tools that they give you to work, then it's just doesn't do anything, at least for me. And well, everything was good, and then I just had really, really bad infected tooth. Well, it just pain got to be so intense that I basically went into like a fight or flight stage. Chose to do some really stupid things, compromise my sobriety. And it didn't help. It didn't do a damn thing. I confessed to my significant other at the time, and it's unacceptable. She's got kids. I can't. It was a difficult situation. Obviously, we ended up separating. So that's when I realized, I can't keep living like this. I can't. I hurt her. I hurt her family, her kids. I hurt my family, friends, and I'm just, if I don't figure out how to fix this, or at least work around things to try and keep these scenarios from happening, it's just going to keep consuming me, and it's eventually going to kill me. So, like I said, I completely flipped my life upside down, and I'm one of those, if I'm going to change something, I'm going to charge in head first, which isn't necessarily a good thing because I can get burnt out. Everybody does, it's too much, too soon. And, but it's been positive for the most part. Her and I have a civil relationship. She's very supportive of me going through my journey, and obviously this is something I have to do for me. I have to do it alone, more or less. And, it's just, it sucks that it had to happen the way it did, but the way that it opened my eyes to everything, and the motivation, and just the desire to get better and stay better and live a fulfilling life. I'm halfway through my life, maybe a little bit over, but just because the first half was painful and difficult and depressing doesn't mean that the rest of my life needs to be like that. And the thought of being able to achieve that and have that and sustain it it almost seems out of reach. But if you had asked me 2 weeks ago if I'd be going to the gym twice a day and cutting back on just one energy drink a day, only drinking water the rest of the time, and doing all these things, eating the way I am, and reading. I haven't sat down and read since, oh God, I can't remember when, and now I'm addicted to it. I'd rather read than watch TV or play on my phone, and it's been such a good feeling. It's just so much weight lifted off me, and it's something that I'm I'm doing it every day, not making it boring. I'm making sure that if I'm getting burnt out on reading or whatnot, I back off, just because I want to be able to maintain this habit, because this is something that is beneficial. I'm reading mental health books, things like that, and having a different perspective on things and hearing people's stories, it enlightens me. I'd kind of get out of that slump, like, oh, life's shit, it couldn't be any worse. Then you hear somebody else, you're like, oh, goddamn, yeah, I need to shut up. And if they can get through things and work around things, why can't I? Anything's possible if you put enough time and effort into it, and once you find the right path to go down. Like I said, with me, it's been physical fitness and eating better. The mental clarity and the sleep quality that I'm getting now is just through the roof. I've never slept so good in my life. and I'm at peace for the most part. I still have rough days. It's going to be like that for the rest of my life, and it's like that for everybody. Not every day is going to be perfect, but I know that, and I can understand that now. And if I can prepare myself for a rough day ahead of time, then when it hits me, it's not detrimental. It's, you're more prepared. You have the habits set in place to help you get around things, the tools that you learn from counseling or other people's stories, books, or whatnot. You have all that right there to help you kind of navigate your way through a dark day. And it doesn't have to be, just completely life-altering, just shit show. And ultimately, that's what I'm going for. Because, in my mind, that's living a normal life. And I never would have thought trying to live a life like that would be so difficult for me to achieve, to have. And it's, it's a goal of mine. And the one thing I've learned with me, and everybody's different, I use big ideas, big action, get burnt out. I try and every day have little goals, just little things in life that take me out of whatever comfort zone I was in, and hey, get your ass up, do this, give yourself like a sense of purpose. You can't just sit on the couch and mope and cry, and that's not going to do any good. You get up, do the dishes, clean the house, go to a friend's house. I was very antisocial. I'm starting to, break out of that comfort zone because it's going to benefit me. I know that. And, like seeing family that, they worry about me. If I'm going to sit here and seclude myself, of course they're going to worry. Just because they call doesn't mean I need to answer. But if they see my face and interact with me, I know it makes them feel better too. And so yeah, like I said, little goals, then you're always achieving something. You're always moving forward. And for me, it gives me a happy feeling, like I'm accomplishing something. I'm getting somewhere. I'm not stuck in a slump. I'm not just fucking depressed and shriveling up. The world's going to keep turning. You can either sit there and be a bump in the road, or you can be a part of it. And hopefully, I'm wanting to be a meaningful part. It's part of the reason with these videos. Like I said, a lot of it's for me, but if somebody watches it and if they can take a little bit of my experience and apply it to their life, and if it helps even in the slightest way, that is such an amazing thing for me to be able to do for somebody. And I've had people do it for me, and like I said, different perspective never hurts. And like I said, a little bit at a time, it'll get better. Everything, I know my life's gonna get better. I can feel it. I'm done this time. I'm not gonna slip back. It opened my eyes, and it hurt me too much, and it hurt a lot of people, and I'm responsible for that. And that's a lot of weight that isn't necessary, and it's gonna get better. Like, I'll shed a lot of it, and in time things get easier. But it was definitely an eye-opener, and like I said, I just got to keep moving forward and take support, take criticism, and just keep chipping away at whatever it is that's holding me back, holding me down. Trying to learn. There's a lot to learn with mental health. Trying to pinpoint anything is just takes so much time and effort, but I've definitely seen a lot, read a lot, things that make a lot of sense, and I think it's helped me. And like I said, they just emphasize being practical. Don't go too crazy. If you don't run right now, you can't sign up for a marathon tomorrow. You got to start small and build up and reward yourself. Encourage yourself. Because it seems like with me, I love feeling good, but getting to that point is just not easy. Like, it's just not. It's not something I'm necessarily used to. So being able to achieve it now is, an awesome feeling. It's relaxing. Like I said, I sleep amazing. Better attitude at work. I feel like I'm, contributing in a positive way through knowledge, work ethic, things like that. And like I said, so far it's been a good journey. It's a long one. It's a lifelong thing. I know that anybody that has dealt with depression or anything like that knows that it doesn't just go away. You take all the damn pills in the world, it doesn't mean it's going to do shit. If anything, it'll just make you into a damn zombie. I don't want that. So I'll let's keep doing what I'm doing, learning as much as I can, trying to soak everything up like a sponge, and like I said, take it day by day. And so I'm learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I will probably post another video in a couple days. So if anybody's watching this, thank you for watching. I hope it can help a little bit, give you a little insight or something. And all right, we'll talk to you later.